Now, what's up, my Yuki Bros? I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0. Welcome to Last Week in Yu-Gi-Oh! I am joined so far by Alex Simo, although others may join us along the way. How's it going, Alex?
It's going wonderful. I slotted this chunk of time just for this because we need to get this series back up and running.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. I like the idea of getting as many Yu-Gi tubers in one chat room as possible.
But no more than 5.
But no, yeah, no more than 5. That got a little crazy that one time. We had like a 5-hour live event.
That was pretty fun, but it was exhausting.
Yeah, it was nothing like the 5-hour live event we had with Nick.
That was great.
That one time. Yeah. Anyway, so why don't we start talking about news? I suppose the most pressing news was YCS Liverpool, and this is related to the big news story of the week, which is ABC being released, and our first few events with ABC. What are your first impressions from YCS Liverpool, Simo?
Well, it's really interesting because ABC didn't win the whole event, but pretty much because, if you have a Burning Abyss player that can make 3 copies of Chaos Hunter and 3 copies of Ghost Reaper, then obviously ABC is going to have a little bit of trouble. But, if you look at the top 32, I believe it was 14 were ABC, so that actually still says a lot. Even though it didn't win the event, I still think because it had the highest representation, I still think that's almost more noteworthy than the fact that it didn't win.
It's a little bit like the Dino Rabbit format, it reminds me of, because Dino Rabbit didn't win for like 3 months into it becoming the dominant deck, but at like every YCS for that entire time, the top cut was something like, 30 Dino Rabbits and then like 1 Insector and 1 Wind-Up.
Right. It was just like, it always took like around like 50% of the field. So, and I think people were prepared because a lot of people saw how dominant ABC was in Japan. And I really think that people wanted to like be ready because they knew they were going to be playing ABC like all day. So I really think that the guy who took first, I think the call of maining the Chaos Hunters and the Ghost Reapers was a really good call. They have natural synergy with the deck anyway to an extent. So, I mean, yeah, it's like it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, the triple Chaos Hunter, triple Ghost Reaper, the 1 Vanity's Fiend, and the 3 Mask Change second, which actually in the finals almost screwed him over because of how dead it was. But like that game 2, I don't know if you watched the game 2. The commentators were literally having trouble breathing. They were laughing so hard.
I didn't see it, no.
Because it was great because Thomas Rose was playing against the Minerva Turbo player. What was his name? His name was I don't remember his name. Anyway, it was also Tom something, and it went into this point where basically Thomas Rose had like 1 or 2 cards on the field, and the Minerva Turbo player like constantly had 5 or 6, and it was like 1 card on the field, 1 in hand, and the Minerva Turbo player was just whooping him. But the thing was, the Minerva player had like 3 cards left in deck. And so basically, there were a couple of what I perceived as misplays, like ways that he could have played the turn a little bit better that happened, where he could have dealt with his opponent's board. But he kept surviving due to really dumb things. And his last ditch effort was, or he had 2 last ditch effort kind of things, where in the second to last turn, the Minerva player went into attack over the Break Sword, and he summoned two Phantom Knights. At which point he mass changed second into Darklaw with Phantom Knight's sword on the board, which he equipped to Darklaw.
I think I tuned in for a very short time, and I think that's when I saw it.
And the crazy thing is, this is what made the commentators laugh so hard. Was it just so happened that the Minerva Turbo player had this dead fairy tale in his hand that he had been holding for like a bunch of turns, and he couldn't use it. But it just so happened that he had the right number of cards in the grave and on the field to hit the snow, flip the Darklaw face down, and run over it. So the next So Thomas Rose draws for turn, and he has a Seer in his hand that he got with Skarm, and he banishes from the grave to get a Fogblade, right? And so he has another card in his hand and Fogblade, and the Minerva player goes for a Mega, and just so happens to hit the 1 card that isn't Seer or Fogblade.
Oh my god!
And so Thomas Rose summons the Seer and sets the Fogblade, ends his turn, and the Minerva player goes into attack and he fog blades his own sphere so it can't be attacked. So he has one card left in deck. And it just so happens that he had a way to play around the fog blade, but it was such a brilliant duel. The commentators were just in hysterics.
That's actually how Mike Knowles from ARG got his invite in the last chance qualifiers for Nats this year.
Yeah,
He played like his own like Dante Pilgrim or something, and that's how he ended up winning his final match.
It's too good.
That's so good.
That's actually how I won one of my games against BA at regionals. Was he fog bladed my Neptibus, and so I was just like, cool, and I let him kill everything except the Neptibus. And he just left it there because it couldn't attack, and so I just kept paying cost for it.
It's a pretty legitimate tactic. I mean,
yeah. So that was the big takeaway. Those were my two big takeaways from YCS Liverpool. There was, of course, the Minerva player that was really interesting. I mean, it was a pretty standard Minerva deck, aside from the fact that he only ran one Minerva. Presumably because he could only afford one Minerva.
Of course. I mean, it's very rare that you see people playing multiple Minervas in that deck.
Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons. The Shade Brigadine, the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine, that was wild.
I didn't catch that. So what happened with that? Has that made an appearance?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know, it's a Phantom Knights trap card, but it summons itself as a level 4 Dark Monster.
Right, yeah.
Which you can activate from your hand if you don't have any traps in the grave.
Oh my god.
And it's the only trap that he runs.
Wow.
And so it unbricked him a ton of times.
That's crazy.
So that was pretty big. But yeah, I would say that the big takeaway from this event and from this week in general is ABC is wildly dominant.
Absolutely. Even though again they didn't top, I think a lot of people are going to perceive that like, oh, ABC's been this overglorified deck that everyone thinks is like so good. Well, obviously, if it was so good, why didn't it win? You still look at that top 32 breakdown that Konami released, and it took up half of top 32. So even though it didn't win the event, it's still the most dominant deck in top, which says something.
Yeah, and at the very least, even if it isn't the most dominant deck, it's a bottleneck deck. If your deck cannot deal with ABC, it's not going to be successful at an event.
It's true.
That's the thing that people generally go to when they see a deck not win, is they think that I don't have to worry that much about this deck. It's pretty easy to beat. But the thing is, with ABC and with Inzectors and with Dragon Rulers, all of those formats that had that bottleneck deck, even if it isn't the deck that's winning, it's the deck that you have to prepare for.
Yeah, it's like the number one thing. Like if you're going to any, competitive event, whether it's a regional, YCS Anaheim's coming up soon, anything like that, ABC is still the best deck. And, now that we have Invasion of Vengeance that's going to be legal in the next week, Dimensional Barrier is no card to overlook by any means.
That card is incredible.
It's so good.
Like the only reason I am not hugely worried about it is because my current deck, Mermail's the extra deck is fairly negligible.
Right.
And so, the only thing, that they're going to hit ever is Xyz. But in general, that card is going to be one of the defining cards this meta.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion.
Obviously, Pot of Desires is still, the most expensive and the most sought after card in the format. But I think Dimensional Barrier is going to become right up there because, burn any Xyz Synchro Pendulum Reliant deck, the card is good against. And it's a chainable trap. So Twin Twister does nothing to the card unless you hit it in the end phase of the turn.
That's true.
So it's like you're playing 4 Vanity's Emptiness, basically. And people are like, oh, well, it only lasts a turn. In this game and in this format, 2 turns all you need.
And that's the thing. I think that we're going to see players actually shifting the pace of their game to run a lot slower, knowing that card exists. They're going to start playing their decks to not be going all in because that players are going to be playing that card at 2 and 3.
Yep.
And they're only going to be playing it at 2 if they have a ton of draw power in the deck.
Yeah.
And they're going, so you are going to have to prepare to see it every game. And so the only way that you're going to just definitely be able to go off during your turn is if you are going first, if it's turn 1.
That's pretty much it. If you can go first and your opponent's not playing any sort of disruption whatsoever, then that's pretty much the best turn in the game, because you're going to have the opportunity to not have to play under a dimensional barrier, under a buster, like
absolutely
any of the crazy shit that we're seeing in this format.
And so that's why I think that we're going to see a tempo change this format. Aside from the decks, obviously, that can OTK even without being able to use pendulums, Xyz, or synchros, or fusions, which are very, very few and far between.
Yep.
I think that you have to play to not get destroyed by that card.
Pretty
and that's
much
hard if you're playing the fastest version of a deck.
Yeah, and the thing is, the irony of the card is, as good as it is for the best deck, which I'm saying definitively ABC is the best deck currently,
absolutely.
it also is equally as good against the best deck.
Yeah. I think that we're going to see a lot of those gentlemen's bets going around where people start talking about siding out their dimensional barriers.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, people still offer to side out Vanities because it's pretty much an auto win card still. So I wouldn't be surprised if people start offering to side out dimensional barrier because it's completely unfair.
I saw players doing that with cherries.
Yeah.
Because it becomes literally a game of luck.
Yeah.
If those cards exist in the game. And so I think that's what we're going, in top tables and things like that, that's actually going to be a phenomenon I foresee us seeing more and more often in this game.
I really found it really fascinating seeing cherries starting to say so much play in the main deck. That's something that I really didn't see in the OCG, like, seldom, if ever. But now, like, our format's not messing around. It's like they just want to play 3 cherries, and just like, if they happen to go second, they have a chance to almost blow out their opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Second, but if you're forced to, you actually have like a fighting chance.
That's true. And I think that's indicative of the way the TCG plays, actually.
Yeah.
We are much more in favor of stopping the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! From happening, even at the cost of our advantage, as opposed to the OCG, who just, like, they are very about getting off their plays, no matter what.
I agree. And I just thought it's so interesting with how, prevalent ABC was in their format. You would still never see people main cherries. Like, I might have seen people main Chaos Hunter every once in a while, but I would never see the cherries being mained in OCG. So the fact that we're just, like, skipping that step entirely, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, players here don't like, when there's a card they don't like, they like getting rid of it.
Oh, of course.
Just without even having to deal with it.
And I think the fact that we are in the TCG and have the ability to have that foresight, that gives us a really huge advantage, because it's almost a next level meta thinking. Because if you observe the OCG and you're like, okay, so this is the trend in the OCG, you can't just copy what the OCG is going to do, because everyone who's an above average player is going to be, like, kind of already up a step ahead of you, thinking, okay, people are going to gravitate to this build from OCG, for example. So then the above average players are going to figure out, okay, now how can we counteract what most people are going to do, like maining Chaos Hunter, things like that. So the fact that we're in the TCG, we have the advantage of that foresight and kind of get to have another layer of thinking, whereas the OCG kind of has to figure it out on the fly, because they don't exactly get the time that we do to watch, everything in their tournament results and stuff like that. And then when it comes here, we're just a whole nother step ahead of the game.
And that's why you've been seeing players right off the bat when ABC came out maining 3 Gamma Seal.
Oh yeah,
because even in ABC, they knew that they were going to have to face off against Chaos Hunter. They knew that they were going to have to face off against problem cards in the meta.
Well, they didn't even have Gamma Seal yet. They were having to play Santa Claus. Kaijus till later. So they saw us playing Kaijus as we had them and saw how good they were. And they're like, well, we can play Santa Claus as an out to ABC Dragon Buster, or like Volcanic Queen, I remember, or Lava Golem, just whatever, like lesser version of Gamma Seal, basically, that they had available to them. And they're willing to relinquish a card off Santa Claus just to get rid of a Dragon Buster. And for a time, they didn't expect it to happen because no one was thinking that they were going to do that. So, and now here you see people shotgunning the tribute effect of Dragon Buster during the standby phase because they're so afraid of getting their Dragon Buster Gamma Seal.
Yeah, and that can have some major consequences if your opponent has the ability to go into Abyss Dweller.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that. That was actually a large part of my strategy with my Mermail deck, was I mained 5 Kaiju in the double slumber because I wanted my opponent to tag out so that I could force them into the Abyss Dweller play.
Yeah.
And that is a thing that we're seeing players doing.
It's just crazy.
it's really creating these interesting iterated mind games
Yeah.
where players know that their opponent is going to tag out if they've seen kaijus, and so they don't bring in the kaijus, and so their opponent has to decide whether or not their opponent left in the kaiju
Right,
to
exactly.
decide whether or not to tag out.
I thought it's still interesting as well that even with ABC basically dominating around half of the board for Liverpool, you still look at that breakdown. There was still like 6, 7 other decks in the top.
Yeah.
Like you had Burning Abyss Phantom Knight, you had Blue Eyes still, you had Minerva. Like there's still all these other decks. Obviously ABC is still on top, but we had this format previously that was a very diverse format. A lot of people would agree on, and now you have the diverse format, but ABC still like shits on everything.
And I think that's actually something interesting that you'll find about tier 0.5 formats is they tend to be more diverse than like top 3 formats.
Than like a triangle format, yeah.
Yeah, because you know that you're going to be playing like half your games and maybe even 3/4 of your games once you get to the top tables. You know you're going to be playing against a particular deck. And so if you can make a generally good strategy to take on to play while also being able to pack on the hate for that one deck, there is a significant possibility that you're going to be able to do well. And so you see wild things like Minerva Turbo topping.
I find the whole, going back to what we're talking about shotgunning the ABC tribute effect, I find it funny because if you think probability-wise, the odds of them opening a kaiju, let's assume they're just playing 3 kaiju in the game. The odds of opening a kaiju in a 6-card hand are roughly like around like 35, 36, maybe like 40% at the most. But people still want to shotgun that Buster because even though the odds are in their favor, they would still rather. It's so detrimental to get your Buster like gamma sealed that they're so afraid, and they're like, I'm not even taking the chance.
Well, that's one of the big things. That's one of the big things. So one of the topics I wanted to cover was how Invasion Vengeance is going to change the state of the game.
I knew you were going to talk about that. I set you up for that.
One of the things that I think that we're going to see is I think we're going to see fewer ABC players prematurely tagging out Dragon Buster because of Pot of Avidity.
Oh yeah, that too.
I think because if you have Pot of Avidity, it makes sense to take the gamble to leave the Dragon Buster on the board because you can put your monsters back into the deck and get that draw and not lose all of that advantage.
Right. What is it now? Pot of Acquisitiveness, I think is
pot of. Let's see.
I think it's Acquisitiveness.
Yes, it is. Acquisitiveness. Because Konami can't let us have nice names.
Yeah. I'm still shocked that card's on the secret rare. I was so expecting it to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're already reaching in with the dimension barrier and the and totally awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Pot of Acquisitiveness is definitely going to make a huge impact. Like I see a lot of people saying that they're going to side like 2 to 3 copies of that. And I feel like that's a bit aggressive. I feel like personally you should only use that as like your hard counter to Winter Cherries if you're that worried about it. But I mean, if that's the strategy people want to go with, and who knows? I mean, obviously we've discussed in the TCG, we're more like gung-ho with these types of strategies, but
that's true. And like the thing that I would caution players who are thinking of going for it with that is it's one of those cards that's only good if you're in a bad situation.
Right, exactly.
And so normally you're not going to want to shuffle in your monsters because you're going to want to have them in your banish zone so you can tribute off your Dragon Buster. And so, the vast majority of the time that the Pot of Acquisitiveness is going to be dead for all intents and purposes.
You're not playing Pot of Acquisitiveness while you're ahead.
Yes.
Like that's going to be a very rare instance that you would want to do that and it actually benefits you because you want to cycle the card or recur the resources.
Yeah.
That's a card where it's like, I'm fucked. My Dragon Busters are panicked. I need them back.
Yeah. But I mean, against the vast majority of side deck cards for ABC, this is going to be a very important card because of course, Kaiju, and System Down. System Down, I would say, is almost as big, if not bigger, than Cherries. Because if you're playing a really fast deck and you can hit that System Down, that is a punishing move.
Yeah, and System Down is like the ultimate like punishing card for ABC because the fact that it doesn't just hit the field and hits the grave, it just makes it live at any single moment, which is just nuts.
Yeah, and that's part of what I think. Hey, how's it going? We've lost.
We've lost his audio.
Yep. Nope, you're gone.
He made an epic intro and then we lost
Yeah,
it.
that
That's
was
so
good.
sad.
That was a great, like
I
a
like how
10
he's
on the
wearing
10 at the
number 3.
entrance, but like a 1 on the landing.
But yeah, Pot of Aquisitives is going to be interesting to see how that plays out, especially when YCS Anaheim rolls around.
Yeah, definitely. Oh God, I just opened the
Hello?
live stream. Here we are. Hey, there's Ryan.
Okay, how you doing, guys?
Good. Do you want to introduce yourself for the stream?
Hey guys, I'm Ryan. I used to make Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I have officially started a new channel where I just talk about pretty much anything, and it's not just Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'm Ryan. I'm not RH Nisker, really.
This is
You're
Ryan.
Mr. Ryan's Rants.
Yeah, for those of you, actually most of you guys might know me because the three of us kind of met at the same spot and kind of
We
blew
did.
up
That's
at
true.
the same. This is like, I think, is this top 4? This is top 4.
I didn't make it to top 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were some of the people who made it most of the way through the next
Yeah.
YouTuber.
It's
This
so
is the
weird because that
squad.
was like 2 years ago.
That was a
wasn't
long
too
time ago.
long.
Yeah, that was before I moved to Bellingham. That's crazy.
That was when I had a different room.
Yeah.
A lot of things were different.
I've
So-
gone through 2 rooms since that happened.
So Ryan, we were just talking about YCS Liverpool and fun stuff like that. I don't know if you still keep up with the game.
I heard everyone. I recently heard a lot of complaints about Burning Abyss, so I'm assuming it won.
It did win.
How
That
the
sucks.
Yu-Gi-Oh community works.
Man,
There
I'm
you go.
still-
You have a video now.
Yeah, you
Oh yeah, is that my content?
Yeah, fuck Burning Abyss. Dante should have been banned 4 ban lists ago.
Yeah, is that? Should I just open my video just like fuck this? Fuck. I feel like that should be
Exactly. There you go. People like that.
Great.
Let's see. So we've actually got a question that we probably have a couple of questions, but I want to take this one on. Ortomi is asking, if I'm playing ABC, how do I win game 2? Well, actually, their game 1 is the part they have. They're a little bit like Dark World in that there's a lot that you can side for them. And so if you know the right side deck card for the pace of your deck and the style of your deck, then you probably have a better game 2 than a game 1 against ABC.
Is he talking about the mirror match specifically or just anything?
Let's see. I have not gotten an update from him.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, in the mirror match, you want to try and go first if you lost game 1, obviously.
If you go second game 1, you should win game 2.
Yes.
And then you hope to God you win game 3.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really depends because like for most matchups, when you're forced to like let's assume you win game 1 because he's talking about game 2. So we're assuming you're getting forced to go second because that's where the deck is at its weakest. Because they're going to have so many more options to defeat the deck.
Yep.
In most cases, like you're going to be fine unless they have system down. Then you're really in trouble.
The system down is such a blowout.
It is like system down is like, and there's nothing you can even really do about it either. Like there's nothing you can do. So like if you're talking about the mirror match though, like if you want to go gung ho and side like 3 Chaos Hunter, 3 Winter Cherries, 3 Lancia, so then they can't like do anything,
So
like
they
go
can't
ahead.
play Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
Is anyone else surprised that System Down hasn't been like hit yet? Because I feel like that card's been powerful, like being able to banish and B, like machines have been like powerful archetypes in the past, you know, with like Yugiohs and stuff. Are you guys surprised that hasn't been hit earlier? And when do you think? How soon do you think it's going to get hit? If
I think
at all?
it's so niche. I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the best
Yeah?
card to combat ABC. So as long as
Hey.
ABC is around, System Down's going to be around.
A new challenger appears.
God.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
This is big.
Oh
I didn't
man,
expect Alex to be
the
here.
chicken himself.
We just expected Alex's beard.
And
Why'd you-
Nisker too. I'm out. Late.
Deuces.
Mike
He actually
freaking
left.
dropped. Oh my god, he just left.
Yo, a lot of people are gonna be mad that I'm the reason that Yugi Nation left. You know,
Yeah.
now I'm that asshole.
He didn't leave until he mentioned you, so.
Yeah, now you're going to
Yeah,
get
well,
even
well,
more
well.
dislikes on your videos, Ryan.
Guys, this is all
I
my
wouldn't do that
fault.
to you guys. I wouldn't do that.
Why
No,
don't
you just did
introduce
it to me.
yourself,
You
Cody?
just did it to me.
I am a meme now, so
He is a
what do you
meme.
expect?
All right, introduce yourself, sir.
You guys already know who I am. There should be
We
no
do.
Oh,
introduction.
shut up.
That's fair. Like, if people were on my channel, they like they know me. They probably figured you out already.
Hopefully.
People go into Alex's channel and was like, "Oh, great, it's this guy again," because I'm almost in like every single one of your stupid commentary videos that you know how much I hate doing. So
Or like when we go into Mega Capital G's stream and purposely like start a fight and like people like start taking sides.
why do you gotta ruin the secret? Why you gotta ruin the secret?
Dude, I need to get in on this.
Only the
I didn't
people
know
who
that
watch
you
this
guys-
stream are gonna know that, so that's the thing.
It's
I
okay.
didn't
It's
know that
always
you
fine.
guys go on Capital G's stream.
Oh yeah.
I want to get in on
We'll go
this.
in his stream and chat. So like I'll like start raids, like where people will just start like raiding the chat with me, and then Cody will come in and then he'll start picking fights with me.
Oh man,
And then people in the chat will take sides on like
That's great.
Team Simo, Team Yuki Nation.
Okay, I guess I need to get in on this.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious stuff.
that
Oh, it's
sounds like
amazing.
a good use of my day.
You know
Oh,
what's sad?
absolutely.
I hate how Cody comes in and he's just like, oh, I don't need no introduction. And like, in the meantime, Gage cuts himself every time someone notices Simo over him. So like, Yugi Nation's just a dick and rubbing it in. So I hope Nim's watching this.
I hope you're watching this, Gage. I hope.
Well,
that, I
now
hope
that
you
Ryan
feel-
said that, Gage is gonna join the call.
Yeah, just like he heard it. The universe told him. So
No, no,
I'm
Hold
gonna
out,
come in.
Gage.
Robert, so at Nationals, Ryan was there, so he knows. So at Nationals, I stayed with Gage because it was in Pittsburgh, and he lives like a half hour outside of Pittsburgh. And
Yeah.
so I stayed with him. We were at Nationals like every day of the event, and every time people would come up and like talk to me and like ask me to sign something or just anything. And
Yeah.
Gage is standing right next to me, and no one knows who the fuck he is.
That actually happened to me at regional. So you know how I realized that Squiddy Wiggle Stove was there like after
Yeah.
the regional? It
Yeah.
occurred to me that the reason why I had why that name stuck in my brain during the regionals, aside from the fact that he's one of my favorite players, was because I played next to him for a round at the top tables. And at the end of the game, a guy came up and asked me to sign a playmat for him, with Squiddy sitting right next to me.
Yeah, there was one point where someone came up to ask me to sign a card, and I didn't have a Sharpie, so I'm like, Gage, can I use your Sharpie?
Jeez.
Oh, that's rough. Oh,
Oh my god.
R.I.P. Gage.
Poor
Oh
Gage.
God.
We love you. Don't worry, Gage.
I think one of the few autographs I've ever signed is only being known as the admin of Yu-Gi-Oh memes and not actually for my videos. People know me
That's
more
okay.
through Yu-Gi-Oh memes.
Or at least your name's getting out there anyways. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
One way or
wait, hold
another.
on. Did they ask you to sign it as RH Nisker from Yu-Gi-Oh memes or
Dude,
as
I
Yu-Gi-Oh?
signed a common monkey board. Like, I don't think this guy cared that much. I think it was like
It's
for
just like,
pity
let me
points.
find any random comment I can.
Maybe he felt bad because he just 2-0'd me with Burning Abyss before, but like whatever.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely a pity autograph.
Man, can you sign my common monkey board I just grabbed from my friend when I asked him for any card quickly?
And just found out he
Oh, so it turns
Yeah, he didn't know who I was during the match.
What were you saying, Robert?
Oh, so it turns out that we were totally wrong about absolutely everything.
Totally?
The guy, we were totally wrong.
It's the
That's-
meme of the century right there.
It is.
So what were we wrong about?
Apparently, he is an ABC player playing to win against the side decks that players play against ABC.
Oh,
That's
well,
awesome.
okay, yeah. Well, now that Pot of Acquisitiveness is out, you have to
Yeah.
side that if you're going
What on wait? Pot. Say that slower. Pot of what?
Pot of Acquisitiveness.
I'm gonna go check if that's actually the real thing. Fact check this guy.
It is.
It-
Go
It
away.
is.
Don't say hi to the stream. Don't say hi to a couple thousand people. This is my
You're right.
roommate.
That's the actual name. Pot of
Yo.
acquitted.
Pot of
I thought I just called Alex Gage. Never mind. I'll show myself up.
But yeah, like so if you're going second, like you should be siding Pot of Acquisitiveness because they're most likely going to side Ghost Reaper, and then so if they Reaper you, you can Pot of Acquisitiveness back your Dragon Busters, and then you can just continue on. So that's kind of like the counter side.
How have spells become so generic? Is that a problem? I just read the equivalent, the Pot of Equivitness. That's not
The Pot of what?
What?
I'm not gonna stop. Stop it.
What was that?
Pot of Equivitance. I am an English major. I should be able to do this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pot of
Are you
Equivitance.
speaking Canadian?
Hey, listen. Is that a thing? Are they just making spells more and more generic?
Hey, dude, it's Yugioh. Money.
Well, no. I've
Have
seen,
you read Pot of Desire?
Well, no. Between.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I don't mean to cut Ryan off, but did anyone see the Liverpool live stream where it was the Pot of Desires into two more Pot of
Desires? Oh my god!
was
Memes are
Liverpool.
finally real.
I think so.
Is that like?
Ron Paul did it.
Can we get a gif of it?
The prophecy has been fulfilled.
Okay, hold on. I have to bring that to mention. Ryan, say what you want of that again.
Oh, get me a gif. Cody loves
Yeah,
his
okay,
gifs.
that's where we differ because I say GIF.
Oh, okay.
We already have a civil war going on.
Listen,
right
if
here.
you want to get violent, come to Canada. I'll show you what we're about, eh? Don't fuck around.
I'm gonna get.
Listen, don't fuck around. You know
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
wipe the
talking about,
floor
eh?
with you.
There we go. I'm not gonna know what hit me. A bunch of politenesses and please and sorries. I'm gonna feel so bad about what I said that I'll just ask myself. No murder
You guys
required.
pretty much have axed yourself. Look who's about to run your country.
Hey,
So
it's
I'm
on
not.
my-
You know,
let's not get.
I have
Are
to
we-
answer
Yo,
enough
on that.
political
Yo,
questions
one of
I
my
did not
favorite things.
Q&As these days.
Contribute to this craziness.
I don't
One of
want to
my-
deal with it on my live stream.
No, one of my favorite things is watching. I never get involved, but watching all my newsfeed, Yu-Gi-Oh players argue about politics is probably better than watching them argue about prices. It's like the funniest thing
Oh, like in Zodiac.
ever. Yeah, on Zodiac,
Yeah.
man, even in the Canadian groups, man, even in the Toronto group,
Even in the
like,
Canadian group.
Even the Canadians.
like why bother yourself with that burden? I don't want to think about it. It's not my fault.
Humans always have a need for conflict. I believe is what it is.
So Robert, why don't you get us back on track here?
Sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
there was a truck. My bad. I didn't even know.
I mean, we were trying to explain to a dude how to not to get wrecked by cherries. Like, that was pretty much all we were
Yu-Gi-Oh!
trying to do.
Simple.
Our
You
kind of
don't have to deal with it. But
Well,
I'm done.
if you went first game 1, you're gonna win game 3 anyway. So just scoop game 2 and call it a day.
yeah, that's it.
That's good.
That
Wow.
was pretty much what was happening at regionals, though. Like, no kidding. That was what players were
You
doing.
open that combo so consistently, and you like can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's kind of what Yu-Gi-Oh's come down to.
I mean, yeah, and that's another reason why I
We
saw
chose
this.
this life.
What were you
we
saying?
didn't. No, we didn't. This is like crack. This is not normal. We are not doing this out of choice. We are hooked.
That's true.
We
I
are
can stop anytime I want.
That's why
As your
as
count is
I'm
going
shaking,
slower.
opening tins.
I remember when Robert was on his hiatus, and I'm messaging him, like talking to him about Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and he's like, "God, I want to get back into the game so bad."
Or do we regret that life decision?
Oh boy. Yep, that was me, and I'm finally back in, and it owns me again.
Owns you.
Gonna own every aspect of your life.
Need
I
an
just spent
intervention.
$15 on frogs. Like, this is what my life has come to.
Never thought we'd hear that in our lifetime.
Wait, guys, what? Sorry, can we talk about you? You want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for a sec?
Okay, let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for a second.
I was mentioning something, and I now remember what it was, and I can't forget
Good
it.
job.
Okay.
What was it? There was a spell that dumped. It's like there was another foolish, right? What was it called?
Burial of belongings.
Yeah.
What is it? It dumps some like just
It
a
dumps
spell.
a spell or trap instead of a monster.
Okay, interesting. So like that's another. That's like 3 solid examples of like really generic spell cards that are in the game right now.
I mean, but like a fairly generic spell card comes out like a few times a year and has for the last I don't know how long. I think just like what's happening now is that Konami is trying to remake older cards. And they're finding that, like, when you make newer cards and make them generic, they aren't really generic because you have to come up with new things, and new things tend to be more niche.
Yeah.
But when you try to make older things, but worse, you're going to find that you're just going to have slightly less incredible versions of extremely generic cards. See Pot of Desires.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I
want to
think
be Pot agreed, dude. Have to rehash old stuff just to keep the new guys entertained.
If we're gonna talk about stupid spell cards, lawn mowing next door.
Oh, what was it? No, hold on. It's
Oh no, it's
TCG
the grass
names.
is greener on the other. How the fuck are they gonna fit that in the title of the card?
that's what I'm wondering with, like, Pot of Aquitus, Pot of fuck it all.
Wait, I'm just looking at this
This
card
is just
now.
another example of Konami has recently just been making names harder to understand
Yeah.
than they were in the OCG. Like, that's what they did with all the Yang Zing cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Yang Zings used to have, like, really easy names in the OCG, and then they changed all of the Yang Zing names in the TCG to make them harder to pronounce.
So Ryan, what are your first impressions of that card?
First off, I think everyone has a problem with the way that they changed the names from OCG to TCG. Like, imagine if we got War Gods instead of Bujins. Like, what's this?
That's badass. I love
But the grass is green, always tastier on the other side is definitely Konami. They are on. I'm very curious as to what psychedelics they take because man,
I am
looking at the. Is that Sniffus? It's
same
Sniffus on the artwork. The artwork is Sniffus. It's like which is like the most like Alice in Wonderland like drug infused character ever. Like, what are they
Sniffus
doing
is
at
pretty
Konami?
weird.
Next to Nettles, right?
Boy, and
Yeah,
the
Nettles is
that's
on
on
the
the
Miracle
criteria.
Fertilizers on the artwork.
and
Yep.
the Goblin Housekeeping's in the back.
That card is so dumb. Mill 20 for free, possibly 30 if they desires on their first turn.
Yep.
That'll make people think. Like, do I do the neg 9 or let my opponent just start pressing, setting up his graveyard for something?
If we
I
get
decide
that
to do
card,
first turn.
I hope they print Minerva in like a gold set by then, because that's going to be ridiculous if they don't.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, have you seen, they call it, I think in the OCG, they call it mowernoids.
Yeah.
Mowernoids.
That's just another example, though.
Run that by me again.
Mowernoids. They're like 60 card Infernoids with 3 lawn mowing next door.
And 3 left arm offering to
and
search
3
it.
left arm offering to search it. Because it's so good that, like, left arm offering isn't even that bad a cost.
Yeah, they don't even care because they're going to mill 30 and then or 20, let's say, and then they have like their win condition right there.
Yeah. Mowernoids.
Does this world come to where we're
I really hope that
resorting
game
to
catches on.
such
Like
craziness?
mower noise.
What are they going to call it in the TCG?
I hope they call it mower sworn.
The Infernoids are tastier on the other
I wouldn't doubt
Salt is tastier on the other side.
Oh my god.
They would do something like that. I wouldn't have no doubt in my mind that Konami would be that stupid.
The salt is tastier on the other side of the duel.
That should be a card.
No,
Salt is stronger on the other side.
That's what they're going to call lawnmower noids. They're going to call it the salt is always tastier.
And that's when people start maining Lancia.
So I had this really stupid idea recently that
Just
I kind of love. Yes, among others, but this one in particular. So have you noticed that Kabuzals is both a water monster and a dinosaur?
Yes.
And have you noticed that we have 3 Gold Sark in the game and 3 monsters that can basically are a 1-card Leviair?
Oh god.
I have the like somebody could probably make an artifact Dino Rabbit deck with
That'd be
like
fun.
1 rabbit, like 3 Terratop Takatomborg or a Takatomborg, however you're supposed to pronounce it, and then you run 3 Caboozles and 3 Hydrogeddon.
Oh my god, Hydroget. What is this, fucking 2004?
Hey, I love that card.
I love that card too. But...
You run the Hydrogeddon, and the thing is, if you lance a Gamma Seal, Hydrogeddon can run over it.
And then you get another
And then you get
Hydrogeddon.
another Hydrogeddon. And the thing is, even if you can't do that, you can run unexpected die to summon your Caboozles from your deck. And then you can summon Hydrogeddon, and you can go for either Yugioh or Bahamut Shark.
And then Bahamut Shark summon out Trito.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, we just got some Dino Rabbit Tree Toad.
Exactly.
That could be fun.
It's a thing. I'm telling you.
Oh my god! Just tell Nick about it. Make it a deck.
And Nick would make it a deck. That's a
Unexpected die.
Unexpected
That's a
die.
card.
It's
That's a card. I've stocked up on that. I think that's waiting to be broken.
I'm telling you, man. Dino Toad. Totally Dino.
Totally.
Totally Dino.
Totally Dino, dude.
Man, this Brawl Opponent Studio preach Rabbit to 2, please. Rabbit could go to 2.
Don't they have like 3 in the OCG?
They do have it at 3 in the OCG.
And
ABC is still the top deck.
Oh no, Junishishi's top deck.
Oh, of course, Junishishi. Gotta remember.
We're gonna talk about broken shit.
Oh my god. I don't even I am so not looking forward to that deck being a thing. It's just
Who is?
Wait, which deck? Which deck?
Junishishi or Zodiac Beast?
Excuse me? Zodiac Beast.
Yeah, they are one monster Xyz. Like literally one monster Xyz. You summon a monster and you can Xyz using one monster. It's so
Let that settle
stupid.
for a second.
So should I just like look up these monsters and see what's up?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's only like
be
4
disappointed in the universe.
What should I look
mostly
at? Mamorat?
Yeah,
Yes.
Molerat.
Molerat is the best.
And then the monkey Xyz, and then the tigress, and then bullhorn, and then Diancia.
Diancia is so freaking good.
This card is normal, so you get someone's already from rejected. These monsters original time.
I know he's gonna read each one.
I just found a foolish. That's not a 1-card Xyz in my mind.
No.
Somebody's responding to our annoyance about Konami's naming things with I have a little magical something for you.
Oh my god.
What?
Ryan, just read one of the Junishishi Xyz and you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, Bullhorn?
Sure.
Do we have any other questions in the chat while Ryan's learning?
Oh, that's jokes. That's the first line. Okay. This is stupid. It's like, man, that's like one of the worst things about that's like highlighting one of the worst things about Xyz and making it a deck. One of the worst things about Xyz that I thought were terrible, and I'm glad Konami didn't follow through with them, were ones that you could just overlay on top for free. Like Gaia Charger, those are the worst things.
And there's a whole
also
archetype
known
of
as
them.
the entire Junishishi deck.
That's
you put one monster on the
awful.
field, and you just like immediately have 5 Xyz on top of it.
Ryan, where have you been?
Yeah.
To like not know about any of this.
Man, I'm in school.
Oh,
I'm trying to. I have work. I have school. Like it's not fun.
That's not excuses.
No, I hate.
It's good. You have so much rant material here.
That's the thing. I'm glad.
Ryan's rants
I'm
version.
enjoying watching Cody animate during our live stream. This is
Everyone else has a face cam and I don't, so I might as well throw something on the screen.
Cody, while we're talking, can you animate me not making videos?
It's not hard.
He doesn't need to. We can just see you on the screen right now.
There you go. You're not making videos now, so there you go.
So one person asks, do you guys think that if Minerva were widely available, Lightsworn would be a top tier deck?
It already is a top tier deck. It's just the issue is people can't afford Minerva.
Yeah.
But like, do you think it would be a like contender with ABC if it were more widely available? Because I don't think I think I saw one Minerva Lightsworn player at regionals that wasn't at the top tables most of the tournament. So I feel like there would be a pretty high chance, given that, not even thinking about like the actual specific of the deck, that it seems likely that it would be a top 2 contender.
I personally feel Minerva Sworn is a tier 1 deck, but because the fact that you need to shell out so much money for Minerva, no one's playing it. Like the deck, you see the kind of advantage that deck can just generate and just keep going and going and going. Like if it doesn't like brick, like if you make Minerva turn 1, like you're just going. And But the thing is, no one can afford Minerva, rather excessively, who plays this game. So when it does come out and finally gets printed, although like we might have ban lists before then, we might have Junichi before, like there might be so much other stuff. I think that it's definitely something. The fact that it's available, people are going to want to play it, but I don't know if it'll still be a tier 1 deck at that time. But I do feel that it currently is a tier 1 deck, but just no one can play it.
That is
Whatever Alex said. I'll agree with
I
that.
don't know what Lightsworns are. I guess I haven't seen Lightsworns in a while because, like, I don't know. They just seem like a deck that, yeah, once they get going, they're great. But like, it's like a luck deck. I would never want to play a deck that's so.
Have you read Minerva?
Yeah, I get it, but like, I don't know.
Dude, I'm just waiting for Lightsworn to get that trap card that adds JD to your hand.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that with Minerva, that would make it a tier 1. That would be nice.
But that and like Fairy Tale Snow, like it's basically Snow Sworn is what people are calling it now. Because Fairy Tale Snow is like the best card in that deck outside of Minerva.
What?
Yeah, I mean Snow is a freaking incredible card. Just like a monster from the graveyard Book of Moon.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's a quick effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna read it now. So
you should.
I know nothing. I'm sorry, stream.
And yet you're on the stream.
I'm literally here for entertainment value. I hope you think my shenanigans are stupid. And
I'm just waiting for the DDD structure. Dude, I'm so prepped for the DDD structure.
Have they even announced that, or do we still not have a date for it?
I don't know. Let's see.
That's so weird. What a weird effect.
Structure deck, Pendulum Domination. Medium TCG.
I don't think
cover card. January 30th, 2017.
Oh, really?
So it's coming soon, yeah.
Okay.
I have Allure of Darkness for it, but I also think that I should probably get rid of my Allures, because there's no way it's not getting reprinted in that deck. Like,
are they just Allures, or just common?
They're all commons, yeah.
Oh, yeah, get rid of them. Those common Allures are, like, so hot right now.
Yeah.
I have a question.
What's that?
Why are people, like, why is this so great? It's like similar to Jack Frost, no? Just the fact that it's, like, quick and can be used anytime?
It's a level 4. It relies heavily on Graveyard, Book of Moon. You can use it during either player's turn, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Either player's turn is cool, I guess.
It's a light.
It just has like perfect synergy with the entire deck.
It
actually has 1850 attack.
Jeez. Does anyone
it can crash with that mechanical chaser that Scrub at locals always runs?
No, dude. The call is DD Dynamite. That's what you play at locals.
Oh my god.
I used to play that in Chainburn during Dragon Ruler format, and they had so much banish, and I'd go, GG.
Ryan, if you still play Chainburn now, you could just main 3 DD Dynamite and get away with it.
Really? Is there that?
Desires, players are playing Desires.
Yeah? I guess it's a fat 2K, right? What was it? Oh, it's a 3K.
That's 3K, and that's only if they use 1 Desires.
Do people pull off 2 per game?
You can.
But like, that sounds so...
It's a +1.
I'm
not going to use 20. If I'm not going to use 30 cards, I'm not going to use 20.
Yeah.
It's like the Yu-Gi-Oh tree. Like, is this card good? Is it a +1? No? Fuck it. Yes? Broken. There you go. Play 3 of it.
That's a pretty good decision tree.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
If you were going to make a video, how to determine if a card's good, that would be the first thing I would put in the video.
Number 1, does it stop your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Number 2, does it plus? If it's one of those 2, it's good.
Number 3, does it have the words Dragon Ruler in the name?
Dude, can we talk for a second about how badass looking the DDD Synchro from the structure deck is?
Oh, which one is it? The
Siegfried.
Oh, Siegfried. Oh yeah, the artwork's so badass.
That looks so cool. I'm so hyped for that.
Knowing them, they'll probably censor it in some way because they think it's like too badass.
It's too cool.
They're already messing up with names. I'm not sure why they wouldn't, want to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
sorry, I'm a conversation
I should actually read all of these.
What, the new DDD cards?
Yeah. Because I realized I just opened them, looked. Let's see. Actually, I'll do that later. That's not what this is about. So, here's one thing that I wanted to talk about. Eidolon. the archetype that has been slowly being announced, they have all the attributes, I think, now. What do you all think of them?
I think the deck still relies too much on the summoner guy.
Mm-hmm.
For his name off the top of my head, but I feel like the deck still, even though now that one card like searches him, which is good, but I still feel like the deck is like way too reliant on that one card, and I feel like that can be disrupted way too easily, depending on like how the meta shifts by the time we get that set.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the archetype's really cool. Like, I like the idea of it, but it's really, I don't know, like decks that rely like I don't know.
I mean, if you can search it, the only thing that's going to stop it is if your opponent, like, if you try to summon and your opponent blocks it. But the thing is, you don't even bother to summon it. Like, the thing is, if you can discard it to the grave, the fusion spell banishes from your grave or your opponent's.
Which, that's crazy.
That is really amazing, especially with the light one is a freaking spectacular.
Yeah, the light one's crazy.
But then the other thing I like is the, like, every attribute one is really amazing.
You're going to combo that with Fu Rin, Kaz.
I mean, yeah, but no. I tried. Who did I try to do that with? Wasn't there a ritual at one point that could do that?
Yeah, it's I think it's Elemental Mistress Dorado or something.
Yeah,
where she's like all the attributes, or like only like the 4 like not light and dark ones.
Yeah, let's see.
Something like that. I know what you're talking about.
Is that the light one? Let's see. No, the Elysian is the multicolor one.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Yeah, so if you have an Eidolon beast in your graveyard or on your side of the field, you can banish it to banish every monster your opponent controls.
Yeah, which that's crazy.
And that's a quick effect. It's a quick effect too, and that's just
nuts.
That seems nutty. So I feel like I can see it being a splashable engine.
I think so. It just really depends, and obviously we get to watch the OCG to see what they do.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And we have seen absolute jack from it so far in the OCG.
Because Junishi's too good.
It is. That's true. I mean, there were a lot of cards that like got totally overlooked in the game because like Dragon Rulers were ridiculously good.
It's true. That's actually something I wanted to do a video on, is the fact that in our game, especially being in the TCG, we always have to be looking at what's next, and we can never be looking at what's in the present. Because if you're not looking at like the whole thing with like we were discussing earlier before, Cody and Ryan joined, like with ABC, if you weren't watching the OCG and seeing how the deck plays and not realizing how you can stop the deck with like Cherries, Chaos Hunter, Gamma Seal, like whatever, like you're so far behind the curve already that it puts you at an inherent disadvantage solely because you don't have that knowledge. But the OCG doesn't have that problem because they don't have that kind of foresight that we do. So they get to stay in the moment, develop the decks, develop the strategies, and kind of have them evolve as the weeks go by. Whereas with us, we're going to be in a format of like ABC for who knows how long, but we always have to be looking at Junishishi and knowing that it's coming.
That's true.
And we have to be like, okay, we need to know how to counter Junishishi. We need to pick up the cards that are
dreading the future.
Right, exactly. We always have to be one step ahead. Otherwise, you're incredibly far behind the curve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically gathering up the flying seas right now. Because like that's the only counter you've got. Like Ghost Ogre isn't gonna do anything against them. I guess Winter Cherries, but I would be so surprised if Cherries did not get hit on the next list.
They still have it at 3, so it's possible.
I mean, that's true, but like the OCG also has Stratos and Rabbit at 3.
That's true.
Free my nigga Stratos.
And don't they also have Emptiness at 3?
No, they don't have Emptiness.
Okay. No.
They have 1. Okay. But they also have Solemn Judgment at 1.
That's true. They have
they have Monster Reborn at 1 and Feather Duster.
That's true. So they're not the like ways that things get hit in the OCG are not comparable to the way that they get hit in the TCG.
I also believe they have Omega only at 1 now too.
And Level Eater at
Level Eater's banned.
Yeah, I just
thank the Lord for that in the OCG, because getting hand looped by Dark Synchro turn 1 is just like it feels so bad, man.
That's just another option where Winter Cherry just becomes a good option.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, if you're already playing it for your ABC matchup, just throw an Omega in your extra deck, and there you go.
Yeah. I'm being
Gentlemen.
handed cheese by my roommate.
That must
That's
be nice.
hot. That's hot. I'm about to catch Pokemon soon with my buddy, but before I go,
Sounds good.
what do you guys think? Because I just recorded a video on this. What do you guys think is the problem in that hand loop situation? Is like Omega the problem card, or is Level Leader the problem card?
The one that's banned.
Yeah. what? But is that like your opinion, or is that just based on like what Konami decided? Because like I just recorded, like I personally think Level Leader is the worst designed card there.
I definitely agree. I think take Stratos, for instance. The reason why Stratos is good is banned, like ban worthy still, is because it's usable multiple times per turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like Level Leader is not restricted at all.
No, it's beneficial in every possible way. Not only does it allow you to control levels, but being a level 1 itself, it's so easily like manipulable itself, just like Glow Ball being such an easy tuner, like just being a level 1 that could constantly bring itself out with no cost. And it's it's so easy to get into the grave. If that, like, an argument is like, oh, you need it in the grave, but like it's so easy to get into the grave with like Foolish and Arma and Greffer, Math.
But some Dark Synchro variants don't even need Level Leader.
Yeah.
So
that is a fair argument.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Oh, we got the whole squad here.
We got Dennis family coming in from his top at YCS Engineering.
Man, this is the man that saw me at an event, and I was in a contest with this man, and he just doesn't even remember me. I'm like sitting face to face, like, "Hey, man." He's
Dennis,
like,
"That's okay." He thinks I'm a Canadian.
Dennis, unmute your
Dave, right for ARG?
There you go.
I'll take it. As long as people call me something, I'll take it.
So, Dennis, you can hook us up with that sweet first place deck profile from YCS Engineering.
I still got 2 more days, dude. Like, I'm still on the seismic right now. Because we're in California, there's a lot of earthquakes, so I guess they're signing.
You should go ahead and tell the rest of them what you're actually doing, since none of them have a
yeah, I'm studying for my professional engineering license, which is, I don't know. I'm a civil engineer, if you guys didn't know that.
Not Yu-Gi-Oh! Enough. Anyway.
Yeah, not Yu-Gi-Oh! I really want to smash kids and play Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! in like a month. I need the self-esteem.
Dennis is going through withdrawals.
I really need to beat some children at their own card game to really make myself feel like a man again.
I'll just be texting Dennis all this shit that we're talking about for Anaheim, and he's like so pissed. He's like, "I need to study, man."
Crazy text, man. Is Cody in here?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Is he in Anaheim?
Who knows?
He's making a picture. He's making an animation of me. That's me.
Yep.
That's a great picture of you.
You just get
Anaheim.
He's gonna shoot an arrow and just get a follow behind and say subscribe.
Isn't the trip to California is pretty expensive?
Is it what?
Isn't the trip from Canada to California pretty expensive for Robert?
I'm basically in Canada now. Like, the border is like a 10-minute drive from my house.
Oh, really?
Wrong side of Canada.
Bring Ellen.
We're on the good-looking part of Canada.
Yeah.
West Coast.
Canada. That's okay.
West Coast is the best coast. Yeah, it actually is pretty expensive for me, especially since I also have to pay the price of missing 3 days worth of senior seminar.
Oh, okay. That's pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, it would be a little rough. So yeah, so your dreams of getting me down to Anaheim, maybe.
But you're the water player that Anaheim needs, Robert.
That's okay. Eventually, they'll bring a YCS back to SeaTac. That's what we need.
So
if they do that,
insider news. The reason there's no Seattle in Anaheim, Seattle YCS this year is because they messed up the contract with them, so they won't have one this year.
That sucks.
That's messed up.
So we weren't supposed to have an Anaheim YCS, but then the Seattle one got messed up, so we ended up having an Anaheim YCS.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little bit glad because that would be way too quick for 2 events in succession for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it about? I don't know. Are we just hanging out? Or?
Oh, well, we were kind of covering news points. I talked about, I don't know, does anybody...
And then we started bashing on Gage.
Yeah.
Oh, where is he?
Like we usually do.
He's not
They
here.
were
we're
just
bashing
using
on
me.
him.
They were really using me as an outlet of Gage. They were
Aw.
calling me Gage.
What other news happened this week? We talked about Liverpool. We've talked about ABC.
Yeah.
We talked about
Corey?
countering ABC.
We've talked a little bit about Invasion Vengeance, but does anybody have any other takeaways about the change in the meta from
Can I
Invasion
talk about
Vengeance?
Liverpool?
What about Liverpool?
Can I talk about Liverpool?
Go right ahead.
No.
Ruined it for everybody. Because now you can't play ABC. Because like Chaos Hunter's like, what the hell? Like, it's so bad. It's like the guy who made Jin Locked. Now like everyone's Jin Locked. It's so bad.
I don't think it's as bad as Jinlock, Dennis.
Chaos Hunter's like Jin Locked. I can't play.
That's
It's so
another
bad.
card I've been waiting to like be broken. That's like another card that's just itching to break.
Chaos Hunter?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Should have
was-
invested in them now. Good luck getting them.
Oh no, I have a bunch. I've had them since I tried them out in Dragon Ruler formats. I've had them for what that's a card that
Cute stuff.
if there's one thing I do, it's like I keep cards that like I see that like, ooh, you're just waiting to be broken.
Yeah.
Oh,
Secret Chaos Hunters are officially $16.
16?
That's fun.
The commons are still like 23 cents though. So you're
Oh wait, they're only 16. That's not even that bad. I thought they were like pushing like upwards of 20. That's you guys, man. Do you remember Teledad? Like $16, boys. Come on, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was remembering people. I was listening to people complaining about ABC and having and like the expensive cards and getting triple desires right now, and I was just thinking, none of you lived through the Pot of Duality format.
Yeah, man.
Wait, when did you guys
and
start playing?
Warning and Scrap Dragon. Do you know how much money I lost?
was so much money.
Oh my god.
When did you guys start playing? Like pre Teledad, right?
I've been playing since this game came out.
Yeah,
If you
took
pre
a
Teledad, you
hiatus.
understand. Everything's pretty expensive.
Basically, when UDE still owned the game.
Yeah, that's when I
Yeah.
started.
Like that's when everything was ridiculous. You had Teledad, you had Lightsworn because JDs were fucking like ridiculously expensive. Like
Yeah.
everything was just so expensive.
I think the D draws back then are just as expensive as Pot Desires now.
No. D draws only hit like 50 to 60 a piece.
60, that's it.
Yeah.
But I
That's
mean-
it.
Then there was Dark Armed.
Dark Arm, which was 250 to 350
And a
piece.
little prize card some people may have heard of called Crush Card
Card
Virus.
Oh, don't say that.
Crush Card Virus, like 600 a piece if you were lucky, like if you were in the right format.
And if you didn't have
600
one,
was when it was the Gold Series reprint.
Yeah.
and if you didn't have one,
2000
don't
was
bother
price
playing
tag.
competitive Yu-Gi-Oh because you'll just lose.
Yep.
What do you guys think of this card?
Bet
Have
you
you guys
just
ever
love
heard of
children's
Intercept
cartoons.
Wave?
Yeah.
Intercept.
What car is that?
Intercept
to
Wave.
Google
Speaking of
it.
the we were talking about the 5D era, so I might as well bring it up. Intercept Wave is one of those cards that I've always had that I am waiting to be broken too.
What are you, Patrick Hoban now?
Listen, I don't like
Is this
to,
another Spell
I don't-
Chronicle?
I don't like to toot my own horn, but it's a quick play, and it says all synchro monsters on the field are changed to defense, and then return all face-up synchro monsters to the X deck during the end
The
phase.
second you said Synchro Monsters, I immediately stopped caring.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry.
Are they ever going to be relevant again?
They
mean,
are
they
in Blue
are.
Eyes, and they summon one at a time.
And the other thing is like they'll just they were going to tag out anyway. Like Spear Dragon
Okay.
wasn't
Is this
going to
weird?
stay on.
Now,
the
if you
field.
said Xyz Monsters, like, okay, then we might have something there.
Okay, I'll leave. Whatever. I get it.
Wait, does this card linger?
No, it's quick play.
And then return all face-up synchro monsters to the extra deck during the end phase.
Hello?
Like, is it like in?
During the end phase?
Okay, I'm coming down now. Goodbye.
That's pretty broken if it lingers. I don't
We
know.
were in a
I
synchro
like my 30
format.
copies right now.
The fact that it waits until the end phase. That's what gets me about that.
It's quick play though. It's pretty
That's
good.
true. I haven't
Yeah.
played-
In the end phase, technically.
I'll defend you, Ryan. It's pretty good.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Well, like,
If
you
it
owe me
flipped
because
them
you
face
didn't remember who I
down,
was. So.
that would be good.
So it's basically floodgate trap hole for fucking synchros.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I don't know.
It's a trigger for synchro monsters.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
pretty
Dan.
good.
If synchros like were relevant, then yes, I would say it's good, but they're not relevant.
Yeah, they're not. But I'm saying
If
it's
Yang
hard to
Zing
that can be
becomes
good.
like meta, then okay.
Well, hopefully, because I have the deck. Yang Zing's is the new Yang Zing stuff out yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
nobody
It
cares,
comes
eh?
out in Invasion.
No, no one cares.
Nope.
Nobody cares. Oh well.
Just
Right,
like every
everyone
other
was
time a
on
new
that
Yang
hype
Zing
train.
card comes out, no one cares.
Yeah, you think I'd learn my lesson. Anyway, gentlemen, I have to go at this point.
Go ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna catch some Pokemon with some friends. Thank
Good
you for
plan.
having
Play that?
me. Yes, I still play that. I don't have friends. I left a dinner date with my girlfriend to catch a Blastoise down the street.
There you go.
That's
Priorities.
another reason I have to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! I have to deal with her. But anyway, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Of course.
I miss all your faces, and I love you. Subscribe to RJB.
You mean
Oh.
Ryan's rants?
Ryan's rants.
You
No,
guys
I
wanna-
thought when you said that, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you said RH Nisker because they're.
No, I'm not gonna.
Are you so
shit
full
plug
yourself?
myself. I'm gonna say thank you and subscribe to RJB. I'm a gentleman. Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you, sir.
RJB
Because
needs
there are
some
so
more
many
subs.
people who aren't already subscribed to me bothering to watch me for an hour on live stream.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye,
easy,
Ryan.
See ya.
God, I hate Canada.
That was only one left.
I'm kidding. Or
No,
am
you're
I?
not.
Simo knows me,
I do. I know your secrets.
unfortunately.
How much are barriers now?
If you go on eBay, they're 60 to 70.
Yeah.
I know I'm selling for 70. How much is it really?
You guys got some?
Yeah, of course. We
Oh.
have everything.
Oh, of course you do. I think people are probably buying for like 50 to 55,
50?
maybe.
Is that the hottest card in the set?
Totally awesome. I think still more.
Oh, totally awesome.
I think actually no. I think barrier is more.
Has Barrier
That's
eclipsed
a-
it?
Huh? I think.
That's
Let's
the money
see.
card? Barrier?
Totally. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, I'm looking at barrier.
Okay.
So what's the segment about? I just saw like, oh, RJB. I haven't seen him in a while. So
The lowest totally awesome is 65 on eBay. So they're actually about equal right now.
Yeah. Let's see. Dimension barrier. Yeah, 68-ish. Yeah. So they're about equal.
Oh,
I'd
someone
say
bought the one
Dimension-
that was 67. That was quick.
I'd say dimensional barrier is probably the more important card.
I agree because I think Totally Awesome's still a little bit more niche.
Yeah. I mean, it's freaking amazing, but like,
You need to have a deck that can play it.
yeah, actually, the Mermail player who topped at YCS Liverpool, like, phrased it pretty excellently. Totally Awesome is an amazing card, but because of the way that you have to play in order to put it on the board, if your opponent kaijus it, it's GG.
Pretty much.
It's like Infinity, right?
Hmm?
It's like Infinity?
Kind of, because like with Infinity, you're not having to make really weird boards to make Totally Awesome. Like you have to make like Bahamut Shark, which isn't like that good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I
Like
understand.
Infinity, like if you're playing ABC in Infinity, you're still doing all your normal stuff, but then you happen to have a Cyber Dragon Infinity on top of it.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is why I think it's the combination, why the two decks that have been successful in the OCG with Totally Awesome have been successful with it, because the Mermail deck, like, the Totally Awesome play is like your backup strategy. You're like, if I don't blow out my opponent turn 1, I'm going to make sure that they can't play turn 2. But like Paleozoics, they can usually grind it out even if their Totally Awesome gets kaiju'd, because, you know, their traps are really freaking good.
Yeah.
It's more
Like-
synergistic with the strategy.
Yeah, there isn't a bad trap in the bunch of them.
The
And-
Paleozoic deck, it's like you guys know that they have a Karma Cut route now, right?
yeah,
That
I
card's
actually
broken.
I have a bunch of those, and I also have the Foolish Burial. The Foolish Burial is amazing because it can send during your opponent's turn. You can send Reload to banish for scatter shots. So
Oh,
it
wow.
turns,
That's
so it turns,
disgusting.
so
Oh
it's a
my
spell. It's a spell speed 2. It's a spell speed 2 Raigeki. And
Yeah.
if you have the new Xyz on the board, you can play it from your hand.
God damn.
The new Xyz is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Who's
such
that?
a good card, and it's totally generic too. That's it. Totally. It's
Totally.
We need to have like a totally count.
What was the name in Japan. It was
Tree Toad, which
Tree
Tree Toad in Japan is still like a pun like that. But
I
obviously,
see.
like
Yeah.
it's just like a difference in language stuff.
Yeah.
I see. But I
So
like
they changed it to Totally Awesome from Tree Toad because it's a pun for us, even though it's not. It wasn't the original name wasn't a pun for us because we didn't really like understand. So that's why they did it that way.
Yeah.
I like the original name for Ghost Reaper and Ghost Ogre. Like they changed it like, so long. It was like Yuki Usagi.
Usagi.
Yuki Usagi.
Yeah,
And
that's a
what
good name.
was Reaper?
I don't know. It's probably something similar.
Googling it.
Yuki
I love how
Lolly.
I'm giving like zero input in this. I'm just here to hang out. Sorry about that,
Okay.
everyone.
It's okay, we're just watching
your
your anime.
attracts more people.
Or we were watching anime.
Is this gonna be on your
You're
channel?
like our mascot. Yeah.
Oh shit.
You
Let's
mentioned
see.
everyone's mascot.
In Japanese, it's Fuyu Sakura.
Fuya.
I guess that makes sense.
What's Fuya?
I
don't
could
know.
not tell you.
I don't know what
It's like
Fuya
a
is,
food.
but like
Sakura's the tree or whatever.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the cherry blossom tree.
Cherry blossom, yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know what Fuya means. I took Japanese. I should know this.
I
Are you
did
still
not
playing
take-
Yu-Gi-Oh! RGB?
Yeah. I mean, I just started again.
So are you playing ABC with Desires?
Yes, that's exactly. No, I'm playing Mermail without Desires because I'm a good player like that. I ran a 45 card Mermail deck without Desires at Regional.
How'd you do?
How'd that go?
25th out of 336.
I was actually expecting you not to do well.
X2?
Yeah, I went X2.
Dang.
Dude, no, it was amazing. It was amazing, but it also sucked. I was playing against ABC, and my deck played it would have had the perfect hand against ABC 3 games in a row, except my opponent opened with macro 2 games in a row.
That was so rough when I heard you talk about
I
that.
was just like,
Yeah.
I was so ready for everything he threw at me except macro.
What?
Like I had
Was there no twin
Slumber
twisters
and
in sight?
OT Huh?
Was there no like twin twisters in sight?
So game 3, I misplayed a little bit. I could have actually gotten rid of the macro because I play Sphere in the deck. And the reason why Sphere is good is because if I go first against ABC, I can put Sphere on the field with an infantry in my hand, and when my opponent summons their Xyz monster, I can summon Pike from the deck and pay cost to discard infantry and kill the Xyz monster. So basically, it's basically a Raigeki break. It basically becomes a Raigeki break to kill my. So I made a play that put Megalo on the field with Sphere and an infantry in my hand, and I also had Twin Twisters face down. And he drew, and he played Hanger, and for some reason I just decided I didn't want him to get the advantage off of Hanger, and so I Twin Twistered it instead.
Wait, I mean, you don't expect macro. That's why. I think it's correct play.
The other thing, but I could have waited and killed the Xyz monster, and then I could have taken out his macro and OTK'd the next turn. So I think it would have been the better play anyway. Like, whether or not he had macro, it would have been the better play to wait for him to summon the Xyz monster and hit it with infantry.
I suppose, but that's, I think, something in retrospect you're kind of just looking at like, well, that would have been the better play. But I think at the time you weren't even like, that wasn't even on your radar.
Yeah, I had like the chances that he opened with macro were so low.
The fact that he's playing macro in the first place
Yeah,
is so
exactly.
low. That's what I would look at.
Yeah, I mean, there was that too, but that was my only ABC matchup the entire day, even though like every hand that I played, except the 2 where I bricked hard playing against Odd Eyes Pendulum, which I got 2-0'd by. Like, basically every hand I looked at and I was like, I could beat ABC with this hand easily. And so it just kind of annoyed me that my only ABC matchup, he hit me with macro 2 games in a row. I was just like...
That's next level, man.
It was rough. But dude, I 2-0'd, well, I didn't 2-0 all my Blue Eyes matchups. I beat all my Blue Eyes matchups. Basically, I played against what were all supposed to be my hardest matchups. I played against Cosmo, played against BA, and I played against Blue Eyes. And I beat them every time. Actually, the Cosmo matchup was... The Cosmo matchup and the BA matchup were kind of my proudest moments playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. Because I 2-0'd the Cosmo player, despite like the worst misplay I have ever made in my life. I don't know if Simo, you watched the tournament report that I made. Yeah, I was playing against Cosmo, and I had a clear board, and he had 4,300 life points, and I had a Teus and a Lind, and so I could attack for 32, and I had an Atlantean in my grave, and so I was like, okay, I'm just going to Norden. I'm going to Norden, like use Instant Fusion to get Norden, get my Atlantean from the grave, and attack for game.
I knew it.
And I thought the Atlantean was marksman, so I activated Instant Fusion, and it turned out to be infantry.
Wow.
So they just got blown up in days.
Not only did I waste my Norden and 1,000 life points off of Instant Fusion, my infantry also got banished during the end phase.
Yeah.
It's so rough.
It was so bad, but then he paid himself down to 100, and I top-decked Slumber. So I was just like, okay, Slumber, your boy. It didn't matter. He had a bunch of Cosmos on the board. I didn't give a damn. All I needed was a monster on my side of the field and a weaker monster on his side of the field. And
There you
that
go.
was how I won game one.
As long as Dark Destroyer was already dead, that's all that
Yep,
matters.
that's pretty much exactly what happened. And then my other proudest moment was against BA. I 2-0'd him without ever seeing Dragoons. The entire match. I didn't see Dragoons once.
Which that's crazy.
Yeah.
How many rounds is it?
9.
9?
Yeah. So
7-2.
yes.
So you're going nationals this year, right?
I hopefully. The problem
Yes.
is that
And we're gonna watch Stemo LCQ it all day.
Yeah. Do it again.
It was so bad. He was in the finals and he lost. I was like, no.
It's
So
okay.
bad.
That was probably the greatest game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever played in my life. Both of us playing. Neither of us made a single misplay. It was a 40-minute game one. And honestly, one of us just had to win. And he milled the precise 2 cards from a Dante mill that he needed to win. And had he not done that, I would have won. But because he had those, it was like a Farfa and like a Barbar or something. I don't remember now.
Mhm.
But because he milled precisely those 2 cards, that's exactly what he needed. He did exact damage to me to win.
Wow, that's insane.
that's wild. That's an incredible game.
It was great. We were both down
Calculated.
to 5 cards left in deck or something. It was
Mhm.
ridiculous. He was playing BA Monarch and I was playing extra deck Monarch. And it was nuts. It was such a phenomenal game. I was not disappointed at all.
I had a game similar to that. It was against Metal Foes. That's what it was against at regionals. There was a game that I had where he opened with Ryo against me.
That's
Which-
what
wow.
That was a little bit rough, but I had the infantry, and so I kept discarding things to summon things to try and kill the Ryo, to try and run to the Ryo, and he kept having trap cards. And so I finally summoned a Coral Dragon. Hell if I remember how I summoned Coral Dragon, but I did it. And he took out he sacked the Ryo, and at that point we were both basically down to top decking. And he had been attacking, and at some point he had a couple of fusions on the board, and I top decked. I had a Neptibus, and there was nothing I could do with that Neptibus except I top decked Salvage.
Wow.
And so I
Oh my
Neptibused
God.
into Dragoons to get Megalo, and I salvaged back 2 infantries to take
That's
out his
disgusting.
entire board.
Wow.
And then I hit
Brutal
yeah,
right
and so
there.
I summoned. And I didn't have a Scale left because I had sided Scale out against this matchup because Scale is awful against Metal Foes.
Uh-huh.
It's they just activate a pendulum and Scale falls off.
Yeah.
That's all that happened. So I had sided out Scale, so I couldn't OTK him. And next turn, he had counters on the board, which I had destroyed that turn. And he had counters in the grave, and he top decks into Jaugen.
Oh Jesus.
And summons the Jaugen and banishes a counter to add a monster to his hand and discards it for Jaugen. And the entire game, I had been sitting on a single back row that had been totally dead. I had 1,600 life points left, and it was a strike I had face down the whole game.
my
Oh,
God.
wow.
And it had been totally dead the whole game until that moment when I had that strike. And he discarded for the Jaugen. I flipped the strike, and he just offered the handshake.
That's ridiculous.
Damn, that's
amazing.
sick.
That was
Way to
So here's
crush
the good-
a kid's dream.
I found a good question while we were listening to that. Oh God, where'd it go?
Yeah.
I just lost it now.
We're on Twitch.
It was hold on.
It's not Barbara.
Okay, so Austin Morel, I think that's his
Mhm.
last name. He says, "What do you think about good text like Chaos Hunter in decks that don't have the consistency?"
No.
ooh.
it's a -1 and it's very hard. The reason why you
Yeah.
run a BA is because the -1 is really a -1 because you can ditch like Rhino and like Grafster, Skarm, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But any other deck is pretty hard.
Well, you can run it in ABC too, because they just have a 2-card combo and they fucking just destroy you anyway. So
Yeah.
theoretically, you could do that, but I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's better in BA where you can more easily mitigate the cost.
I think this is one of those formats where if you don't have consistency, you don't have games.
Yeah, like I'm opening like ABCs with like such bad hands.
That
So
hand you sent me, I was laughing so hard.
What is the hand?
His hand was. Go ahead, Dennis.
those triple terraforming, a hanger, and what was it like a twin twister?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is.
And it's like standard build, like you're
Yeah.
breaking so much with this deck, so I don't know if it's like worth it.
If ABC is worth it.
No, if Chaos Hunter is worth it. In the
Oh
main.
yeah. Well. Yeah, it really depends.
That's a lot of booze on top of your fridge.
I live with 5 people, and they all buy their own booze. And also, most of them are college students.
Yeah. Like in that
so-
instance, though, like Ghost Reaper is.
Wait, do you already have Christmas lights up?
No, my household always has those lights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's
And
not
we
even-
also had a Halloween party last night, which is the reason for all the other decorations.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, like if you're gonna like main Chaos Hunter, like you could main Ghost Reaper, and it's a lot less like detrimental to your deck because it accomplishes the same goal of not getting Buster, and almost does it better because you're, for a fact, getting rid of the Dragon Buster.
Yeah, like they aren't getting Dragon Buster.
And then it also like you can have other cards in your extra like Dante or Spirit Dragon or whatever else is a pain in the ass, and it's you just discard it. Like if you go second, like you just discard 1 card rather than discarding 2. So
That's true. I think you have to find the out that works in your deck.
Yeah.
And one of my friends who I was testing with for this regionals was telling me the problem that I was running into my deck. And this is like some of the best advice I've ever heard about making meta calls, is the problem with running side deck cards in the main deck is that they take away from your main deck.
Yeah.
I agree.
So when you run side deck cards like cherries, like Chaos Hunter, you have to make sure that your deck can play around drawing 1 or even 2 of them.
Yep.
And that's why I actually made the deck the way that I did, was because I wanted my main deck to play well enough that like I could play few enough side deck cards that I was never going to brick with them and still be able to win. And so I think that that's going to be a problem that you run into with less consistent decks. You can't guarantee that you can run enough side deck cards to make sure, enough counters, enough meta calls to make sure that you don't auto lose to ABC, while also making sure that you don't brick.
Yeah, that same thing goes for siding in and out. You don't want to take out core pieces to side in cards that are anti your opponent's deck too, as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And then also it's
Guys, if I randomly disconnect, I've been having internet issues all day, so
Okay.
okay. But yeah, that's what gets scary when the deck that's the best deck considered to be the best deck, or that's a tier 1 deck, is extremely consistent, because they have that luxury of being able to play cards like that in the main without affecting consistency, compared to something that's a lot more fragile, and then you're having to hurt consistency to try to do that. So like when you have a deck, obviously ABC is bricky, but quite frankly, you only need 2 cards to fucking go off with the deck. And so it has the ability to run stuff like that if it wants to. Obviously, it does affect the consistency, but
What deck is he playing? That's a big point. The person that asked. The
he
question.
didn't say. He was asking just in general.
Yeah, I think Reaper is just the overall better card.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who won Liverpool ran both, so
That's fair. But he was also playing
BA.
BA, which I think is the only deck in the meta currently that is more consistent than ABC.
Yeah, it's like most consistent deck since like
Praise Dante.
2014.
Yeah,
2014.
Beginning
Yeah.
of 2014. Duelist Alliance.
God damn.
Yeah. That's another example of having to look into the future because, like, during the Necros format, BA just kind of fell off the planet, and people had no idea that it was
No,
going
I mean
to
it won
become-
that national.
I mean, that's true, but like that was later on in the format. But the majority of that format, you barely saw it.
Yeah, because no one knew how to play against it until they found mistaken arrest. So
Mistaken arrest, and then they also figured out, oh hey, if I set my
Violate.
hand and I can do my karma cut shenanigans with
yeah,
when they try to trish me.
Yeah.
yeah. Everyone like back then, everyone just wanted to trish you. Trish, and then
Mhm.
like El Shaddai came out, and Karma Cut and Wing Blast came out, and not having a hand now, you can't activate Trish. So
Yep.
it changed the whole format.
And that's honestly what that's what paved the way for decks like BA and Shadal to actually still have success. Because if people didn't figure out stuff like that, Necros would have just still shit all over them.
Yeah. I think it's like the problem with Japan too, that they don't try to figure out the format. They just play the best deck and like go at it. Like you didn't see full power BA play Chaos Hunter, and when ABC was #1, everyone just played ABC and OCG. So I think it's a little different mentality in TCG and OCG that we want to like define the meta, like try to break the meta, like Hoban mentality, I guess.
Well, that's what Alex and I were talking about earlier. Is the fact that the OCG mindset seems to be making your combos happen as much as possible, versus the TCG mindset is making your opponent's combos not happen as much as possible.
I think we just like making like unbreakable boards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They like to let each other play. We're not nice.
Yeah, we're not nice. Like you watch games of like people play in OCG in their tournaments, because there's plenty of channels on YouTube like that.
Yeah.
Like you do not see people maining Chaos Hunter and Ghost Reaper at all. Like they actually play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, they gotta play Yu-Gi-Oh. So I don't know. Also, thing about Japan is that there's no regionals in Japan. It's just locals.
Well, they just have like good locals though.
Yeah, so like the locals are only 5 rounds, so you can play like absurd things that have like lower consistency because it's only 5 rounds.
Because there's less rounds that you have to take it.
Exactly. Where we have like YCS over like 10, 11 rounds plus top cut, so you have to hope your deck survives, which is why like BA is so good because it can consistently do what it needs to do for 16 plus rounds.
Or the endurance known as LA regionals. That's 10 rounds in a single day, which is like kill me.
No lunch break.
No lunch break, and you're there till like 1 in the morning if you're doing well.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it was like at Seattle. Most regionals. This time they managed to make it happen. Make it happen in like. I think we got out of there at like midnight.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I love Vegas regionals are the best.
I like Vegas regionals.
We have less than 200 people. We get a lunch break, and it's like 7 rounds.
Yeah.
That must be real nice.
And we're still out by like 6 or 7 at the latest.
I'm like,
Vegas
what do you think,
regionals are the best. And if they have them at a hotel, you get free water.
Yeah.
Which is like the stupidest little thing, but is a luxury.
Dude, that would be real nice because they didn't even have a drinking fountain at the event space for Seattle.
Yeah, like so when they have them at the hotels, they have like in the convention areas, and the workers actually stock water, like giant water containers all around the event room.
That would be so nice.
Yeah, it's great.
That would be so great. Yeah, I had to actually walk for like 10. Like basically, I waited for a round where I 2-0'd my opponent in like 20 minutes, and then I had to walk 10 minutes to find a place with a drinking fountain to fill up my water bottle, and then go back.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna have to take my leave right now.
All right. Well, I mean, we're half an hour over anyway, so I think this is what always happens. At least we're not like 3.5 hours over like we were the last time we did this.
I would say it was a successful reboot.
Yeah, definitely. And
episode is this?
Excited to do this again. What was that?
Episode 1 now of the reboot.
Oh, it's a reboot.
This is the reboot of Last Week in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yep.
Who was the main cast last time?
It was me, Alex, Nick, Gage.
Sometimes Gage.
Sometimes Gage.
So replace Gage with Ryan, right?
No, Ryan just comes in and out when he pleases.
All right.
All right. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I think we're gonna go off air now. Have a good night.
Got a jet.
You don't have a jet. I have a jet. All right. Get out of here.